Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening for whatever time zone you're tuning in from. Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs Corner. We are so excited for today's episode because we have Coach Tanya here with us today who will share her story and what this business has done for her. Um, but before we get into it, my name is Dolma Timadu. I'm based in Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, and I'm a proud digital business owner. Sanadu.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning from. We have today's very special day. As Dolmanti mentioned, we have Coach Tanya with us to share her amazing journey in digital business and online business. And my name is Senadu. I live in Ontario, Canada. I am a mom of one and full-time digital business owner from corporate to online business.
Amazing, yay! So today we got some time here with Coach Tanya. She's giving us some of her time here, and we are so excited to hear her story. And I hope you guys get inspired and learn more about the online business and what it has done for so many people. So without further ado, Coach Tanya, can you share your a little background about you before we get dive into the questions?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, first of all, Domati and Senadu, for having me today. I am super excited. I just love being able to share what gold we really have in our hands here. So, again, my name is Tanya, and I was a full time mom for 17 years before I embarked on this online business. I'm a mom, a wife, and a child of God. And I have been blessed with three beautiful children. I've got two in their 20s now. One's 24, one's 21, and the other one will be 16 next month. And we are originally from Kitchener, Ontario, where I am right now, and now living in Alberta, Canada, where we choose to live. And I'm super excited to share with you my story and hopefully inspire others to, take a look at this and see if this is something that would fit with your family as well.
Amazing, amazing.
Amazing.
So we're gonna just get into the question. What inspired you to start your online business, and what challenges did you face in the early stages?
Wow. Well, I'm going to give you the Coles notes because there's so many reasons. But I would say the first one, what really actually prompted us to be looking for something else was that our kids were in high school. Our two girls at that time were in high school. And we always said when we got married, Derek and I, that we wanted to be able to provide for their post-secondary education, whether that was college or university, it didn't matter, or if it was something specialized. And that's because we never had that, luxury when we were growing up. And so we wanted to be able to provide those funds and the tuition. And what we realized was me being a full-time mom all those years and Derek being the sole income earner, it just wasn't happening. I would do side gigs along the way and, try and, recoup some of the money from the kids' clothes, do craft shows and things like that. But that wasn't going to get us to where we wanted to go. And so it really just, we had a sit down on one Saturday morning and decided we need to find a way for me to be able to bring in an income. But mind you, being at home and being able to provide the care that we wanted for our kids to, go to those activities or be able to take them to appointments and really just to be there for them when they got home from school, that was something we didn't want to give up. And so, Derek being in marketing, we sat down and put our heads together and we decided there has to be a better way. There has to be something online. This is going back 7 years ago now, guys. So I've been doing this for quite a while. And at that time, we saw businesses were just starting to really rise and really take on this online world. And so we thought, hey, there has to be something. There's got to be some way that I can do something from home and be able to still be with our kids. So that's what it was. It was really a hunt for that. But then it became more than just that. It was, looking at our life in that time frame and that moment in time. And what we realized, we were just hamsters on a wheel. Derek was going to his job in Mississauga. We were in Kitchener. And what started off as a 45-minute commute grew to an hour and a half after 12 years of being in that cycle. And I don't know how he did it. I honestly don't. But you know what they say, when times, when things like that appear, there's no other choice but to make a change, right? We were backed in a corner, and it just became that we needed to, figure out our life choices. What do we want for our family? And so that's what we did. We decided that, you know what, Ontario unfortunately wasn't giving us what we wanted anymore. So we decided that we wanted to make a plan. We wanted to make a plan to uproot our family. I know it sounds harsh and I know it sounds scary, but sometimes you have to get out of that comfort zone. And that's when things happen, right? That's when you grow. And so we made it a pact. We said, you know what, not only do we want to be able to provide for our kids, but we also need to look at our sole income earner at the time. And he was worn out. He was doing those drives. Imagine an hour and a half. Like, sometimes what it really took for him to just keep his anxiety down was listening to a story, as he was going to work, as he was, just trying to be calm. Because, the 401, it can be a deadly highway, as you both know. You've traveled it yourself. And so that was a real big eye opener for us as well. And I'll say the last thing was that we weren't having fun anymore. Our kids were growing up, and we were realizing time was just slipping by. And, the things that we really wanted to do took about an hour and a half to 2 hours or longer, to go to the north side of Toronto, which was hiking and snowboarding and, having, nature. We feel like we're in a concrete jungle, I call it, in Kitchener. And so we want to spread out. We want to get out there and explore. And that's something that we've always wanted to do. And we wanted to share that with our kids. And that just wasn't happening either. So yeah, those were various reasons for us wanting to find something like this.
Oh, that's
Amazing.
so inspiring. To make decisions after facing so many challenges. It's also very brave too, right? Like you said, stepping out of your comfort zone and uprooting your current life to do something for your future. That's just brave and it's bold. And I think that's what a lot of our viewers need to hear, because sometimes you have to make that brave and bold move because you want
Right.
a better future, right?
Right.
Um, yes, but yeah, those challenges really push you out of your comfort zone, and thank you
100%.
for sharing that. Senator, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I just want to add a little bit more what Tanya said about time. Time is very precious, and wasting time, especially on the road. And imagine who is suffering because of that time, your family. So you made really good point. I was in that same situation, commuting 2 hours one way, and by the time I get home, I have nothing left.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's amazing, to yeah, taking that bold decision is scary, especially when you have a family, but you have to do it regardless, right? Unless otherwise you don't know what's on the other side, and that's the Tanya's story is a testament, taking that bold move for better life. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And we're just gonna ask you a few questions about how you run the business. How do you engage with like your audience while building your business?
Awesome question. What they always say, you don't tell people about your business, you show them. So in any way that I can, even when I'm at home, I've got our dog. I like to show that we're just real people, and really show people that we all have different needs. We all have different reasons for wanting something like this. And time is of the essence, really. I mean, imagine just as simple as being able to be at home with your pet, with your fur baby, a lot of people will call them, just to know that they're getting the best care possible, that you're always with them. And so I love, going to the mailbox every day. And, sometimes there's some blessings in there, some checks that we get to pick up together. So really it's about showing rather than telling, I would say, first of all. And also things like this, always accepting the invitation. I love, sharing this opportunity, in any way possible for anybody. This isn't something that we keep to ourselves. This is something that we want to share with the world. And so another way would be on social media. So, the biggest thing right now is reels. So if we can show people a snapshot show them in quick moments, in time. So here I am at this beautiful campground here. You're probably wondering, where is she right now?
Yeah.
I'm actually on vacation back home. So I'm back here in Kitchener-Waterloo, and my parents are here camping with us, and that was their choice. They knew we were going to be coming, so we've been doing this probably for the last 4 years now, five actually. It'll be 5 years coming up in October, and that was their decision. They said they want to, take in all the moments that we can together, and so it's just a beautiful thing. And they love camping. They're retired and they can, and so we do this together, and just show people you can do this anywhere, and that's the thing about it. We want to show again people that we can be with our family. We can be, doing the things that matter most to us while our business is running in the background. So you don't have to be hands on 24/7. It's not like that at all. As a matter of fact, a lot of the heavy lifting is done for us. And then we have to just, of course, manage our business, but it doesn't take hours at a time. You can actually set your own schedule. You can run as quickly as you want to or go as slow as you want to. It's totally up to you. So I would say engaging with them, of course, when they're commenting or when they're reaching out to me, answering them, in the quickest time possible. And also just, acknowledging that, they're there and they're helping us as well to grow our business, being a follower and following us on our journey. And, the more people that we reach out to, they also have friends, right? So their friends will see our posts as well, and they'll see the action that we've been taking along the way.
Definitely, definitely. And
Definitely.
the business works with you, not against you, right? So
Right.
your lifestyle that you want, and that's the amazing thing about this business.
Yeah.
Seth, you were gonna say something? Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to say, because you mentioned you are from Alberta now and Kitchener vacationing, that
Yeah.
means your business is not stop running, right? Still
Right.
running.
Yes. Yes. And I am here. And, I'll say, ladies, too, that we, as a family, made the decision to reverse things. So rather than, going out west to visit and vacation, we turned it around and we made that our home. And now we come back here to visit. And you know what? Also, it becomes more quality time that we're spending with our family and friends now. Whereas before, you take it for granted. You might not see a cousin for a year or so, and you live in the same town. Whereas now we are living our dream. We're living where we want to be. We choose that. So we choose where we want to live and play. And now we come back here once a year. I want to make it more. That's my goal. I want to come here more times throughout the year, not just the one time. And maybe it's just me coming back to visit, because the kids, it becomes a little tricky when the kids are in high school and university to be able to get a lot of time off. But, I can be that person. I can come with the family once a year and then maybe come back a couple times, and make that happen. So, yeah,
Definitely. That's
Definitely.
that's
Amazing.
what the amazing thing about this business, right?
a bonus, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Our next question: what tools or platforms do you find most effective for managing your online business and connecting with your audience?
Perfect. Love that as well. I've got a few. I will say from the get go, from the beginning, way back 7 years ago when I started this business, Canva was something that was introduced to me. I never knew anything about that before. It is so user friendly, so easy, and it's free. You can obviously get the upgraded version if you want, but I actually find that I get a lot out of the free version of Canva. And what I can do is make posts. I can make it more interesting, colorful, lively, branded to the colors, maybe to, my background, my brand. And also I love CapCut as an editing tool. So if I am recording videos, even doing reels, CapCut is your friend. It's very user friendly again. And I got in early, so I can still use the free version of that as well. And of course, again, you can pay for the premium version or the upgraded version, and that becomes an easy, sort of tool to use when you don't want to spend a whole lot of time doing that. It's some of them are already templates that you can just plug and play. So you throw in your videos, you throw in your photos, and it just looks incredible at the end. And I would say also, as far as advertising, Facebook and YouTube are my go-tos. So I just got back on Facebook again. I was doing YouTube for a couple of years steadily, and so I just got back on Facebook again. So it's all around what works for you and your audience. And I will say, and this is something I really have to commit to, is I really want to go onto Pinterest. I want that because I feel that my brand and what I love doing is like DIY painting. I love crafting. I love baking and things like that. I think that that's going to grow my audience even further. So that's another platform I'm looking forward to. And that's the thing, we don't stop, right? We keep testing, we keep learning, we keep growing. You can't be stagnant, because then you're gonna some of your followers might drop off, and you have to keep continually finding where they're at, where are they hiding out. And I love this business for that, because it really keeps you on your toes, and it keeps you learning. You're always constantly evolving, and that's what it is in the real world. It's not just in our business, but everywhere. Businesses have to keep up with the trends. They have to know what's working and what's not working. So I would say that this is today in June of 2025, but maybe it's going to be different next year, right? It might be altogether something different.
That's amazing. And you know what I like that you just said, that you love to do the DIYs and that sort of stuff. And that's the good thing about this business. You can do what you love and
Yes.
share it with your audience, because there's people out there who love the same stuff that you do. And that's connecting with your audience. That's one way of connecting with your audience,
Right.
right? So you can still do all your things that you love, like your DIYs, your cooking, and whatever, and still do your business too on on the platforms that you use, which is amazing, right?
Right.
Right. Senator?
Just like a little bit. Yeah. So, like Tanya said, this is attraction marketing. So we follow wherever resonate with us, right? Tanya likes DIY, crafting, gardening, this and that. So if she goes Pinterest, there are a lot of people. Actually, Pinterest is mostly, it's very interesting platform. So we have so many with this business, so many platform to explore, so many new things to learn. So for me, that's what I love about this business. I have
Yes.
zero experience before this business about social media, about attraction marketing, but we are growing with this business. So it's amazing.
Amazing.
And if I could just, I'll add to that as well. What we really call that is pivoting, right? If we
Yeah.
find that something might not be working as well as it used to, well, then we have to switch gears. We need to find something that's going to work and that's going to relate and resonate with others.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely,
Yeah.
and that's what we all do, right? We try to connect with our audience, and that makes it real, right?
Yes,
That we're real people, and we do what we love, and have our online business too, right? So
absolutely.
it gives us a lot of options. The next question is, can you share a success story from your business that highlights the impact that it created for you?
I kind of already talked about it, but I
I
would say
think
that
you
the
did,
biggest
but
life
yeah.
change was the fact that we could move from one province to another. And this business allowed that to happen, not just monetarily, but also time wise. It took us 5 days to make the drive from Kitchener to Alberta. And, that was, a time where we could check in, when we weren't driving and when we weren't putting the time in on our travels, when we were having our breaks and having our lunches, or even at night at the hotel, just check in, make sure everything is running smoothly. We also have business partners that help us out too. So if there's a point in time where, like you said, Dolmati, if you go back home and maybe your time, is different, like your time zone. And so maybe you're not connecting with some of your followers at the time that they're on, but that doesn't matter anyway. You've got time to get back to them. They realize, that's the important stuff. That's the time that matters. When we can put more time into our family, into our friends, live in the moment. And that's really what I wanted to share with your followers today, is that I can be here and I'm taking the time out right now to do this, but I'm going to go back to them. My parents, it's their last day today. And so I'll go back and, wish them farewell for now. And, until we see them again. But I really feel it's important to show our viewers that this is possible. You can be literally anywhere that has Wi-Fi, anything, anywhere that has, internet or data hookup. And even then, when you can find as I always say, even in the mountains, if there's no Wi-Fi, well, when I get down off that mountain, I get right back in there and, check on my business, and, it's smooth sailing from there. So really, to me, it's uninterrupted time that I can put toward my family and friends.
Definitely. It's nice that you're not taking like a full break, but you can take that break away and just spend the
Yeah,
quality time that you need with your family and your loved ones, right? And that's something
exactly.
that I do when I go back home too. I'm not so much posting, but I do take a lot of pictures to have memories
Yes,
too, right? And this
absolutely.
business creates a lot of it makes it easier for you. Like you don't have
Yes,
to worry about a lot of things. It makes it
right.
very easy. Um,
Because of the automation,
yeah,
because of, the fact that we have people inquiring, people that are interested in knowing what we're up to, what we're doing, and we have a system. So
yeah,
that automated, proven system is what really helps us in a business type like this. So that's the thing. We're not hands-on like a franchise where you have to be there 24/7, they say, or even, 14, 16 hours a day. No, that's not like that at all. We have the tools in the background. We've got all that in place. And that's something that we would talk to you about later on, after this. If this is something that you want to learn more about, we put you through a process so that you don't have to take in everything all at once. We do it in stages, and we show you exactly, what this could look like for you and how it can fit into your lifestyle. I mean, there's so many people, and this is what we say. We recommend actually start off while you're working. Like, do this as something on the side first, and then work up to replacing your job with something like this. So this is the beautiful thing about this. You start off as a part-time, and then you can work up to full-time later on.
definitely. And this has been the case for so many people already who have been able to quit their jobs, or maybe if they were working 2 to 3 jobs, they just are working one job now instead of multiple jobs. And again, I'll add too. Some people love their jobs; they just love the business, both the business and their job, and they do both. So you have options, right? So
Right, 100%. Yes, you do.
amazing. Um, we're gonna go final question. What
Okay.
advice would you give someone who's looking to start their own online business today?
Beautiful segue to what I just said. That's amazing. My advice really is to look into this further. Don't take everything for face value. I think a lot of people think that they know. They think that they know what this is about. They make their presumptions. They assume they know what this platform is, and actually, there's so much more, so many more layers to this than I think our viewers even realize. We're trying to show as much as possible how real we are, what it is that we do. But honestly, when you see and we pull back the curtain, you'll be amazed at what you're going to see there. It's phenomenal. Like, not just how we get paid or anything like that. It's so much more than that. It's, camaraderie. It's having a supportive community that's going to be there to back you. It's, people like who I've got in front of me right now, other fellow business owners, and, that have become friends, and, building this together. You're never alone. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people forget. And that's one thing had to know, coming into this. As I said before, being a full-time mom, it was scary. I wasn't in the corporate world for 17 years. I did a part-time job at a salon when my girls were just babies. But other than that, it was about, staying at home with them and realizing, hey, do I have the skills to be able to do something like this? And the answer is yes. And I am a testament of that. If me, a full-time mom of 17 years, can embark on something like this, you absolutely can. You don't have to feel scared. and wonder, hey, do I have the skills? This is something that's going to work for me. Check it out first. Don't make those assumptions. Don't do what I did and think, oh, is this going to be something that someone like me could do, or even somebody that might be new to the language. A lot of people come into this thinking, oh, I can't do this. I can't speak fluent English. On the contrary, we have so much training and so much extra support in our training site now that you can actually learn in your language, which is incredible. Like, this is all that's evolved over the years. Like, that was never the way when I first started. Now we've got it translated in different languages. So again, don't rule this out until you get all the facts. So I would say that's my best advice to somebody. Really dig in deep. And that's what we did. My husband was the skeptical one. He didn't know what we were getting into. But once we talked to our coach, and got the answers, and we got on a coaching call, we went through the process, through all the steps, ended up on a call, and that's exactly when he was able to make an informed decision and give me the full support of doing this business. So again, making sure that you are really getting your answers, and asking the right questions, and letting your mentor or coach guide you. And that's the thing we say. You have to listen. You have to be coachable. And if that's one thing I can also advise, just listen to your coach or mentor. They've been there before. They know the path that's already been paved, so you don't have to make the same mistakes as others.
Definitely, and I love what you say. Don't make assumption about the business. Just get the information, ask questions, see what it is before assuming that what this is what the business is about, right? And I think
Right.
that assumptions is what holds back a lot of people, because they think this is what it is and they don't ask questions. But for those watching the live or replay, please, if you have questions, reach out to any one of us. We would love to guide and help you. And if you have more questions that you don't understand more, want to understand more about the business, reach out. And we have our 90 minutes info session, which is totally free. Just message us or register or any with any one of us, and you'll get access to that. But Coach Tanya, thank you so much. We know you're on vacation. Thank you for sharing your precious time with us today. And we love your story that you share with us, and hope some of our viewers can relate to your story that you shared with us, especially for moms. Who are home and thinking they're looking for something to do from home. This is a great opportunity for you. Coach Tanya is a testament to that. So if
Thank
you're
you.
looking, reach out to any one of us. We would love to help you get started today, or when you're ready, let us know. Sanadu?
Yes, first of all, I would like to say thank you so much, Coach Tanya, for showing up on your vacation, giving us this precious time, and also sharing your amazing, inspiring journey, especially for moms. So Tanya's really, really, real testament. So as you can see, we all real people, human, uh, went through so many different paths and different ways, some corporate, some motherhood, many different journey, but we all ended up finding this amazing life-changing business that gave us time, flexibility, freedom, sharing those precious moments with our family. So where can you
Oh my
find
goodness. It was
where,
my pleasure, 100%. I said, before, I love doing these because I was there. We were all there. We know what it feels like to be on the other side, but we want you to come on this side. And really, why do we do these? We do these because we're real people, first of all, but also to take away that fear, right? The fear of the unknown. I think, again, like you said, Domati, it's, when they don't know everything, and it's scary. It can be scary, and we get that, and we've been there. But let's just help you get onto the other side, and really dig deep and find out more about what this can do for you and your family. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. What is your why would you even want to do something like this? And that's where we all start. It depends on your life circumstances, and we all have different reasons. So what is your why? And go from there. And that's what we hope that we can give you those answers, really show you and guide you along the way as well on your journey.
Definitely. That one
Yes.
question, your why, and that will
Yeah.
get you to where you want to go. But that's it from us today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any one of us. We'll love to guide and help you. That's it for today. Until next week. See you guys.
Thank
See
you
Bye.
you.
so much. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.